Hey everyone! Today we are making this absolutely adorable, super chunky, cozy forest snail. This project is 100% beginner friendly. If you've never picked up a crochet hook before, don't panic. I'm going to walk you through every single step, including how to make a magic ring, how to chain, and how to single crochet from scratch. For this project, you're going to need size 6 super bulky plush yarn in brown for the body, mustard yellow or pink for the shell, in small bits of size 4 black and pink yarn for the eyes and cheeks, an 8mm crochet hook, and some fiberfill stuffing. So grab your materials, get cozy, and let's get right into part 1. To start our snail, we are going to make a magic ring. Grab your yarn, making sure the short tail end, the loose piece not attached to the ball, is placed resting on your palm. Wrap the working yarn, the long strand running to the yarn ball, around your pointer and middle finger to form an X. We'll hold the X in place with our thumb. Now, take your 8mm hook and slide it under the first strand of the X. You'll catch the second strand with your hook, pull it under the first strand, and twist your hook upward to create a little loop. Next, you'll grab the working yarn with your hook and pull it right through that loop to lock the ring in. We have now made our magic ring. This part of the project is going to be worked into rounds. So for round 1, we're going to need to put 6 single crochets into the magic ring. To do a single crochet, we're going to insert our hook straight into the center of the ring, under both threads. You'll yarn over, which means wrapping the yarn from the back of your hook over to the front. Catch that yarn and pull it back through the center of the ring. We'll now have 2 loops on our hook. Yarn over again and pull through both loops. That is 1 single crochet. Let's repeat that 5 more times inside the ring. So you'll insert your crochet hook into the magic ring under both threads. You'll yarn over and pull it back through the center of the ring. You have 2 loops on your hook. You'll yarn over again and pull through both loops on the hook. This will be your second single crochet in the ring. If you have a stitch marker, it would be a good idea to mark the first stitch that you made into the ring so you can keep track of how many stitches you've done in each round. So we'll go under into the ring under both threads, yarn over, and we'll pull it back through the center of the ring. We'll yarn over again and pull through both loops on the hook. That's our 3rd single crochet into the ring. We'll continue placing single crochets into the ring until we have a total of 6 stitches. We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 single crochets into this ring. We'll grab the short tail end of our yarn and pull it firmly. You can see how the hole completely closes up. For round 2, we're going to do 2 single crochets in each stitch around, ending with 12 stitches total. This is called an increase. So we'll find our very first stitch from round 1, which should be marked with a stitch marker. If you don't have a stitch marker, that's okay. If you look closely at the top edge of your circle, you'll see a row of little braids that look like the letter V. If you aren't sure which one is the first stitch, just count these V shapes backwards, starting from the loop on your hook. Once you find that first V, you'll slide your hook completely underneath both loops of the stitch. You want to make sure you're going under the full V and not just a piece of the fluff. Once you've inserted your hook under both loops of that stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. You'll now have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over again and pull through both loops. That's 1 single crochet. Place your stitch marker here, marking it as the first stitch in round 2. If you're having trouble finding where that second stitch goes, you'll look right below your hook at the stitch you just worked into. You can see how that stitch is slightly stretched open now, forming a little window with 2 yarn legs on either side. That little open window is our target. You'll slide your hook right back into that exact same hole, under the same 2 top loops. Yarn over and pull up a loop. You'll have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through both. That is your second single crochet into the same stitch. By putting 2 stitches into that same window, we've successfully made an increase, and you'll see the piece start to widen up. We'll find the next fresh V shape along the edge, slide our hook completely under both loops, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Yarn over again and pull through those remaining loops on your hook. Once that's done, look for the little window that just stretched open right beneath your hook. Dive right back into that exact same spot for a second single crochet. Yarn over and pull up a loop. Yarn over again and pull through both loops on your hook. That completes increase number 2. We'll do it one more time to really get the hang of it. So move to the 3rd stitch, slide under the V, and make 1 single crochet. To finish our 3rd increase, we'll find that open space you just worked into, slide your hook right back inside, and complete your 2nd single crochet. You can already see how putting 2 stitches into each window is making our snail's body expand. Go ahead and continue this pattern all the way around until you get back to your stitch marker, and I'll meet you there. Welcome to round 3. Now that we've widened our base, we are ready to start building the length of our snail's body tube. From here on out, we aren't doing any more increases. We are just going to put 1 single crochet into every single stitch all the way around. We'll make stitch number 1 together. Slide your hook under the V of that first stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over again, and pull through both loops on your hook. Just like before, we'll immediately pop our stitch marker right back into this brand new stitch, so we don't lose our starting line. We need to repeat this exact same pattern, just 1 single crochet in every stitch, all the way through round 18. This is going to be a total of 16 rounds of straight crocheting. Since that's a lot of rounds to keep track of, my favorite tip, so you don't get lost while you work, is to either use a simple row counter app on your phone, or just keep a scrap piece of paper next to you to tally off each round every time you pass your stitch marker. So take your time, get cozy, and finish your rounds all the way through round 18. I'm going to finish mine off camera, and I will meet you right back here as soon as your tube is nice and long. Welcome back. Look how long our snail's body tube is after completing those 16 rounds. We are officially at step 4, which means it's time to stuff our piece and work our very final round, round 19. But here's the secret trick to giving our snail that beautiful alert personality. When you're stuffing a long tube like this with size 6 yarn, you don't want to just cram all the fluff in at once. Take small, fluffy clumps and push them down into the tube. Now that our snail is perfectly plump, let's finish it off with round 19. For this final round, we are going to close up the end of our tube so the stuffing stays locked inside safely. To close up our snail's tail for round 19, we are going to use decrease stitches. A decrease takes 2 separate stitches and combines them into one. We're going to do a regular decrease, which is super straightforward because it uses the exact same stitches you already know. Let's do the first couple stitches together. Find your first stitch in the round, insert your hook completely under both loops of that V, yarn over and pull up a loop. You'll now have 2 loops on your hook. Now, instead of finishing the stitch like normal, we are going to dive straight into the next stitch right beside it. Insert your hook under the full V of that second stitch, yarn over and pull up another loop. You should now have exactly 3 loops sitting on your hook. To lock them together into a decrease, yarn over one final time and gently pull your yarn through all 3 loops at once. We just made the first regular decrease in this round. Place your stitch marker in this first decrease stitch of round 19. Let's do it one more time to get the rhythm down. Go into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. Go directly into the stitch after that, yarn over and pull up a loop. With 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. This is the second decrease stitch in round 19. Go ahead and repeat this regular decrease all the way around to cleanly close up the back of the tail. Remember to use your thumb to keep that stuffing pressed down so it doesn't get caught in your yarn. I'll meet you back at the end of the round. After completing those 6 decrease stitches, we'll leave a short tail, cut the yarn, and we'll pull our loop all the way through that stitch. Next, you're going to take your crochet hook and weave the yarn through the front loops of the remaining 6 stitches. By catching just that outside loop, it acts just like a drawstring. When we pull our yarn tail tight, the edge is going to roll inward without creating a bulky, awkward bump. You'll give it a gentle tug to cinch it shut, and to make sure this never unravels, we're going to secure it tightly. Take your hook and go right through that very first stitch of the 6 we just closed up. It should be the next stitch over. We'll pull up a loop, grab the tail, and pull it completely through that loop to lock it securely into a knot against the body. Hide the tail by pushing your hook through a random spot on the side of the body. Pull the yarn all the way through that loop. Snip your yarn close to the body and push the tail inside to hide it. And just like that, the body of our snail is complete. Good job pushing through those rows. And hopefully the stitches get easier as you're making them. We'll set this piece aside and move on to the shell of our snail. Next up is the cinnamon roll swirl shell. We are working this in flat, easy rows called chain stitches. First, we'll make a slip knot. Cross the yarn to make a loop. Take the loop and place it on top of your working yarn. Grab your crochet hook and pull the working yarn through the center of that loop. Grab both ends of the yarn and pull to secure the slip knot on your hook. Now, just pull on that working yarn to help the loop gently hug your hook. You want it snug, but loose enough that it can easily slide back and forth. To start row 1, we need to chain 7. To chain, yarn over your hook, making sure the yarn is coming from the back to the front of the hook. Catch the yarn and pull it right through the loop already on your hook. That's 1 chain stitch. We'll do the second chain stitch now. Yarn over your hook from back to front, catch it and pull it right through the loop already on your hook. We now have 2 chain stitches. The third chain stitch, yarn over your hook from back to front, catch it and pull it right through the loop already on your hook. We're going to make 4 more chain stitches to get a total of 7 chain stitches. This is the 4th chain stitch, the 5th chain stitch, the 6th chain stitch, and the 7th chain stitch. Now, let's look at our chain. To identify each individual chain stitch within a chain, you'll want to look for the series of distinct V shapes. Each complete V represents exactly 1 chain stitch. We are going to start in the 2nd chain from the hook. So you'll want to skip the chain right next to your hook and go into the 2nd chain down. We'll work 1 single crochet in each chain across. When you get to the end, you will have 6 stitches. To finish row 1, chain 1, and turn your work like turning the page of a book. For rows 2 through 35, the pattern is exactly the same. Start in the 2nd chain from your hook and work 1 single crochet in each of the 6 stitches across. Then chain 1 and turn at the end of every row. As you work up to row 35, this is going to create a very long, flat, scarf-like rectangle. Keep going and I'll show you how to roll it up. Once you finish row 35, don't chain 1 at the end and fasten off. You'll want to leave a very long yarn tail because we'll need it for sewing. Lay your chunky strip completely flat on the table. Now start from one end and roll it up tightly all the way to the other end, just like a cinnamon roll. Grab your crochet hook and you're going to pull the yarn straight through the sides of the layers, back and forth, using a few quick stitches. This locks the layers together and holds the beautiful shell shape firmly in place. So now that we've made all the pieces, let's assemble our cozy forest snail. First, take your long brown body tube and curve it slightly so the front stands up like a head and the back trails off like a tail. You'll notice at the end that I went back and stitched up higher on the head side just so it could curve a lot more. I like this look better than the more flat version, but you can make your snail however you want to, if you want it more flat or more curved. Take your shell and place it right on the center of the body. Make sure that your leftover yellow yarn tail is positioned right at the bottom, near the base of the snail. Instead of using a sewing needle, we're going to use our crochet hook to lock these pieces together. Find a stitch on the body right next to where your yarn tail is. Insert your hook through that body stitch, grab your yellow yarn, and pull it all the way through. Move just a little bit further up and insert your hook into a stitch on the yellow shell. Grab that same yarn tail and pull it through. We're going to repeat this alternating pattern, pulling our yarn through a stitch on the body, and then a stitch on the shell to weave them securely together. Continue weaving all the way around the base of the shell. To secure it, all you need to do is take the end of that yellow yarn tail, wrap it through your final stitch to create a secure knot, and pull it tight against the fabric. Then just hide your remaining tail inside the body stuffing. We'll give our snail some personality by adding some facial features. We'll start with the eyes. We are going to work vertically around a single stitch on row 3 to make them nice and bold. Push your needle into the back of the head and bring it out right at the top of your chosen stitch on row 3. Leave a short tail hanging out of the back so we can lock it down later. To make our first eye, insert your needle right at the bottom of that same stitch on row 3 and push it all the way back out through that starting hole at the back of the head. When you pull the yarn to make the first vertical line, you'll want to be very careful to not pull the yarn too tight. You'll want to have the yarn be fitting loosely over that stitch. To make the eye extra bold, we're going to wrap it a second time. Push your needle into the back of the head and pop out at the top of that same stitch on row 3. Insert your needle at the bottom of that same stitch and push it all the way back out through the starting hole at the back of the head. Now, repeat those exact same steps for the second eye just a few stitches over on row 3. Going from the back to the front for each wrap. Once both eyes are nice and bold, tie your tails at the back of the head into a tight double knot. Snip the extra yarn and tuck the knot right into the body of the snail. Next, we'll give the snail some rosy cheeks using a horizontal stitch across row 5. This will be right below the outer corner of the eye. Push your pink yarn from the back of the head out to the front face at the start of your chosen stitch. Leave a small tail at the back of the head. Now go straight across horizontally to the other end of that stitch. Insert your needle and take it straight back to create your first blush line. Again, we'll make sure we're not pulling this stitch too tight. If you pull it tight, it will completely sink in and get lost in the fluffy stitches. Instead, leave it just a little bit loose so it sits beautifully right on top of the fabric. To make the cheek a little more thicker, insert your hook into the back of the head, go to the front one more time, wrapping horizontally across that exact same space to double the thickness. Remember to keep that gentle, loose tension for the right cheek on row 5. We'll repeat this, wrapping across the ends of the stitch twice and anchoring at the back between steps. Tie your pink tails into a tight double knot. Poke the knot inside the body of the snail. Now we'll end on my favorite part. We're going to give our snail its classic cartoon antennas. Leave about a 4-inch tail to start, make your slip knot, and chain 4. To get that perfect round little ball right at the top, look at the second chain from your hook. We're going to place 1 half double crochet right into that stitch. To make a half double crochet stitch, first you'll yarn over, insert your hook into that second chain, yarn over again, and draw the yarn through the first stitch. This will leave 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over one last time and draw the yarn through all 3 loops on the hook. This will create the perfect little bead of yarn at the top of the antenna. Next, we'll create a sturdy stem that stands straight up. To do that, we are going to make a slip stitch into the last 2 remaining chains. Insert your hook into the next chain, yarn over, and pull straight through both loops. Move to the very last chain, yarn over, and pull straight through both of those loops. Cut your yarn and pull it secure. You can see how the half double crochet naturally puffs out into a cute little cartoon circle, while the slip stitches turn into a nice, stiff little stem. This makes the perfect shape for our antennas. To attach the antennas with 0 sewing, take your crochet hook and go inside the snail's head, poking it up right where you want the antenna to sit. Grab both of those loose yarn tails with your hook and pull them straight down and out to the back of the head. Pull the yarn until the base of the stem sits flat against the head so it stands perfectly upright. We'll take the two tails at the back of our head and tie them into a tight double knot on the inside to lock it into place. Take your knot and the loose tail ends and push them into the body of the snail to hide them. You'll repeat these exact same steps for the second antenna. And there it is. Our adorable, chunky snail is officially complete. Look at how perfectly those little antennas stand up and how sweet the face turned out with those bold eyes and cheeks. Thank you so much for crocheting along with me today. If this tutorial helped you out, make sure to hit that subscribe button before you go so you don't miss our next project. Leave a comment down below letting me know what color you made your snail's shell.